Alrighty, perfect. So welcome to the Black Interior Design Network Masterclass. My name is Hannah, and I am the founder of Kreative. We're a brand strategy and web design agency. So this masterclass is all centered around how to build your business home with a client attracting brand strategy and streamlined systems. Okay. So as I said, it is a very interactive masterclass. So give me all the energy Q&A. If you have any questions throughout, definitely still put them in the Q&A. I would definitely be addressing them throughout the presentation, as well as having a dedicated Q&A time at the end. So without further ado, guys, let's get this thing started. So let me know. And like I said before, I'm operating off of 2 screens. So I can make sure I see y'all's questions as well. So in this masterclass, we will cover 3 important things: what branding actually is and how it directly impacts your marketing efforts. Number 2, we're going to go into your systems. And I created an acronym about a SMART system that shows that making it so that it really works for you and for your business. And then lastly, we're going to touch on some very juicy, simple ingredients, just for one of the most important marketing tools that we really need in the world today. So by the end of this masterclass, I'm big on you walking away with these 3 key points. As you saw in the description for this masterclass, is very big on a strategy-first approach to branding. And I'm going to throw a little bit of misconceptions out there about what people are commonly seeing and saying, and how you can use that in a new strategy to really propel your business forward. You'll also receive the tools that's needed to implement streamlined systems. Anybody who knows me, that I am a system geek, okay? So streamline structure, some automation, how to really create it, just the cohesiveness and the structure that's needed to efficiently and effectively run your business. And last but not least, how to create an online presence that allows you to professionally show up and show up with confidence. All right, so that's the game plan for this masterclass. But first, I have something handy. I need you to have something handy to take notes. If you have not already received the worksheet, it should have been emailed out to you for everybody who registered prior to about an hour to the masterclass. It's a workbook to kind of follow along throughout this masterclass. I will let you know at what points it correlates with the workbook, and you can take notes there. If you don't have the workbook, no worries. Just grab a piece of paper and I'll tell you the points. And after the masterclass, you'll be given the replay, and we'll include the link as well there for you to get access to the workbook. So have something handy, and guess what? Like I said, your time is valuable. I'm ready to get started. So hoot, okay? Let's get ready. So first, I want to know who's all in the room, who's all in this masterclass. I know the Black Interior Designers Network is a massive organization, and I know it has a global impact. So I want you guys, if you can, put in the chat. If it's still disabled, don't worry. I want you to go ahead and put in the Q&A your name and your city. I want to know who's in the room. Tell me your name and where you are from. I want you guys to see who's all in the room, mainly because we don't know who's in the next computer screen next to us, right? So really developing that community, and this will really help as what we talk about today, the resources and tools that some people have and some people don't, but that's okay, because collectively you'll be able to get what you need for your business. So let's see, I have greetings from Johns Creeks. Hello, Renee. Morel, yep, from Charlotte, North Carolina. Los Angeles for Chrissy. Georgia for Renee. San Marcos, California. Oh, come on, Vegas. Hello, Vegas in June for Walker. For Lauderdale, Rochelle, I am a Houstonian as well. So come on, my Texas people, we are definitely here. I see Dallas. Okay, Brooklyn, a lot of North Carolina, I'm seeing, and a lot of Georgia, and a lot of Florida. Denver, y'all, come, yes, I know. So you hear me say y'all, it's that Southern in me, okay? It's the Southern in me, so just bear with me. Denver, okay, awesome. So thank y'all for answering. Brooklyn, New York. So I'm so happy that everybody's here all over the US and being able to take part in this amazing masterclass. So let's get started. So again, as I said, it's officially nice to meet everyone. My name is Hanah Sadiki, and what do? I love helping service-based solopreneurs strategically create their signature brand experience so that you can confidently and professionally show up as a legit business. And by doing this, it allows me to show up as a brand coach and a brand strategist within my business. Another thing is that I'm also a professor at a top tier business school here in Texas. So I am extremely excited to be able to, again, share these details and share this information with you guys so that y'all can have everything that y'all need to make forward and with next steps. Next one. So, like I said, let's get started. Just like you're building or designing a house from scratch, everybody in the room is associated in the interior design space, okay? So I want you to think about what you do every day. Every day, you are just like you're building a house or designing a space, whichever one you do within your niche, within the industry. Imagine strategically building your business from the ground up, okay? So I'm going to use some parallel to equate what you already do into how we can think about where to start, what to do, how to elevate the elements you already have in your business. So what does that look like? Throughout this masterclass, I'm going to give you 3 phases, okay? So phase one is really talking about the foundation and the frame. So when you're thinking about this, I want you to think about the strategy and the blueprint designs that are first drawn up for a house. So in this example, we're talking building a house from the ground up. Some of you guys might not do new construction. Some people just strictly do already built houses and just actual spaces within the house. But for this example, let's pretend we're going from the ground up, okay? But it starts with the process of, leveling the foundation, the frame, the structure, right? In order to do structure, it has to be strategically designed and strategically built. Because if it's not strong, what happens? We get on crumbling down. So the frame is designed for a specific type of house that will have a specific set of needs that will attract a specific type of family, right? We all know that a lot of houses are built similarly, but a specific type of house is built for a specific type of needs that a family may have. 1-story versus 2-story. Very big mansion over something maybe a little smaller, right? What are the different ways that this frame and this foundation is built for this specific house? Phase 2 is a system. So we got our foundation laid, we're leveled, we're poured, we got the ground, really good and solid. So what's next? Our systems. After the foundation is laid and built, now it's time to integrate everything that's needed because the house has to be operational, right? We can't have just straight up concrete and wood at the bottom. We need plumbing, electricity, insulation, drywall, all the intricacies to say, hey, this house can possibly be livable, right? It can be operational. And it's vital to ensure that the home is functional and is working like a well-oiled machine before we can present ourselves as an open house, okay? So our foundation is laid, our frame is built, our systems are integrated, and now it's time to make sure the interior designs and the curb appeal is on point, okay? So I really want you to really think about how it's like either building a house or building a space, designing a space from the beginning to the end, because that is the process I want you to apply to your business. And I'm going to show you how to do that. This is people's first impression of your house. You want to be very clear on what it is and very attractive. It has to have some type of curb appeal, which you'll hear me say again. You're going to host an open house to this new beautiful home, and it's time to put your house on the market, share it with the world, and invite people to see it. Okay. Everybody, side note, I see that the chat is officially working. So if y'all can now put all your comments, aha moments, the yes girls, all of that, the thumbs ups. I will be asking some questions throughout the masterclass. So everybody put your comments in the chat. If you have a specific question for the Q&A, put that in the Q&A, please. Also, Kayla has gone ahead and put the link to the worksheet there as well. That's the workbook I'll be going over when we get to that point in the presentation. So you can go ahead and look at that there too. Thank you so much, Kayla, for getting the chat up and rolling. Okay, so those are the 3 phases. So perfect timing. On a scale of 1 to 5 in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 5, I want you to tell me, does your business home look like this? Okay, we're talking about your brand, your business. Do you feel you have an inconsistent and unstable frame and foundation? Do you feel that applies to you on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being, whew, I'm right there, and 5 being, actually, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty stable. My foundation is laid pretty evenly in my business, and I have something to build on. Okay, go ahead and let me know. Oh, I'm sorry. It says mine is still disabled. Oh, no. Kayla, it looks like some people's are still disabled. Okay, if your chat is still disabled, feel free to still use the Q&A while we still get it fixed. Okay, I see somebody said 2.5. Somebody said 5. Okay, great. So we have a spread for the foundation. All righty. So what about number 2? All right, we talked about the frame, right? That's our basis. Next, let's talk about the systems. What do you feel your business home looks like as far as functional and operational? Do you feel like you have the connectivities working in your business? Are you able to go from this place to this place? Can your client or a visitor to your website or to your back office, are they able to move through your process and your experience with ease? I got some 3s, some 4s. Okay, a 1.2, 3s, 4s. Okay, and that's another big thing we're going to work on today, is show you some of the tools and how to think about developing a very strong client experience, because that is so important to getting clients, retaining clients, and also being a great referral source, getting them to be a great referral source. Okay. And then lastly, on a scale of 1 to 5, what does your business house look like for a poorly designed, unstructured, uninviting house? Okay. Do any of those apply to you for your current business home? Let me know in the chat. I'm sorry, in the Q&A box. I got some 3s. Okay, 3s. Okay, everybody's like right in the middle for that one. Okay, awesome. So guess what, y'all? I had it. Y'all are not alone, because about some years ago, before I even got started, this is where I was. I definitely had an unstable frame. My operations were all kind of jacked up, and I did not have a very inviting way to invite people into my open house. Okay, so let me tell you what that looks like when we translate this into a business. So for myself, and let me know if this resonates with you at all in the Q&A. I thought, hey, before I got into this space, I thought, hey, I need a fancy logo and I need a pretty website. Okay, those are the most important things that's holding me back, because I can't move forward in my business if I don't have the curb appeal, right? If I don't have the visuals. I also knew that I lacked confidence and clarity in telling people what I was actually doing. I couldn't communicate and say, hey, this is what I do, this is who I do it for, and this is why I'm the best solution for you and your business. I also struggled with knowing how to package and organize my services. I was overwhelmed. There were so many platforms. And I know this out of the comments and the challenges that I did get a chance to read through that you guys submitted for the webinar. A lot of people were talking about packaging their services and just so many platforms out there. You don't know where to start. It becomes overwhelming and you don't know what to do. Also, I knew I wanted a strong client experience, but I did not have a clear process or system to execute it. And then I didn't know what marketing strategies to use in my business. You know, you hear all these buzzwords out there, but how did I know how to really make intentional, strong decisions in my business to really get it to where I needed it to be? And lastly, I didn't know how to create an online presence. I saw some people as well within the responses say about how to create a strong online presence, whether that's social or website. And how do I get people ready and excited to work with me? Okay. People need to be at the front door, like, pick me, I'm ready to sign up. And that's the type of energy that we'll talk about how to bring to your business so that you can get that kind of reaction. All of this is how I felt with Dr. Phil. Overwhelmed, like, what is going on? Because I'm doing this by myself. And that's a very big part. About 90% of you guys that register for this masterclass are solopreneurs. So all of this applies, and I was going through as well as a solopreneur. So I developed some strategies that are able to how to minimize and optimize your business without feeling exactly like he said. All righty. A question is, will the recording be shared? Yes. Everybody who registered for the masterclass will get the replay. We'll get the replay to the masterclass. Yes. Okay. So like many entrepreneurial newbies, I enrolled myself in Google and YouTube. If you are in or have been to Google and YouTube University, let me know. Okay, I got some hands raised. Yes, raise your hand, put something in the chat. Google and YouTube University, they have a high enrollment. Okay, for us solopreneurs, because where are we going for this information? We got to find it out ourselves. But that still leads to all of that overwhelm and all of the frustration that comes with it. So I was fed up with the overwhelm, the frustration, the confusion, because I was doing it all by myself. I knew I had no guidance, no support, and no structure. So what did I do? I started to take action. I went back to the basics, right? I went back to what I knew. That was strategy and science. The reason I say science is that I'm actually a microbiology, biochemistry minor undergrad. So the systems part has always genuinely stayed with my heart. I couldn't get away from it, but I knew I had a bigger purpose. I knew I had a bigger mission when I really understood more about entrepreneurship and really helping others go along this journey that I have to get to the point I am now. And so that's where I went back to those basics. How can I create a framework or a system and put something in place that can allow people to move through this entrepreneurship journey without all the overwhelm, frustration, and confusion? So the goals I had was, and raise your hand or put in the Q&A if these goals are applicable to you. I knew I wanted independence in how I want, when I want, and where I want to work. A 9-to-5 can only give me so much of that. So raise your hand if that was a driving force between you really want to go out and do your own brand, do your own business. I want to wake up every day doing something that I love and working with people that I choose to work with. We're going to talk about that in a minute when we get into the ideal client. I pick who I want to work with. And that's not being picky. That's not saying one or the other, but when you craft a certain experience and you know who your ideal clients are, you have the power to really craft an experience for them that they love and that you love doing. Okay. I want to create unique solutions for my clients. I want to create my own schedule on my own terms and create the lifestyle that I want to live for me and my family, for my growing family. So what did I do? I created the streamlined and designed experience. So that's how my signature framework was formed, from really knowing where I was and knowing where I wanted to go and the impact I wanted to make for myself and future clients. So we're going to bring it on back to our 3 phases, right? We talked about frame and foundation being the beginning. Then you can get the walls, the infrastructure set up, and then you can be able to present it to the world, right? So what does that look like when it talks about your business home? First thing we're going to do is brand it, then build it, then broadcast it. Okay, so what does that look like? Branding it is developing your message. You have to start here. If you can't develop the message, then how can you create an experience around the message for your systems? And then how can you then share that message with the world? Broadcast it out, share, get people excited if you don't have a message developed. So, I'm sorry, Kayla, did you say something? Okay, maybe it was just me. Somebody said, I thought the same. Absolutely, yes. So before, this is typically where you are. And again, raise your hand or let me know if this resonates of where you are now and where you want to go in your business regarding the branding, the systems, and the website. You're unclear about how to communicate what you do, who it's for, and why people should care. It's too much. You're unclear about, do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go straight? You're unorganized and bogged down with the day-to-day stuff. And there's little to no cohesion in your process. A common word I saw in the responses, the registration responses, was cohesion and consistency. How do I make all these bits and pieces come together to where it makes sense for me to operate by myself or even with a small team? Okay. You lack the direction and confidence to promote yourself online and attract and generate more clients. So what does that look like afterwards? After going through these 3 phases that we'll talk about today, you'll have a crystal clear understanding about your messaging. Okay. You'll also have a streamlined systems that we'll talk about automation, the tech, the timelines, the steps that's needed, and a very unique process that caters to you and your clients. Okay. Then we'll talk about how to be equipped and confident in your marketing, and then tell your beautiful story to the world. All righty. Somebody said chat is fixed. Okay. Everybody, if y'all want to put something in the chat real quick to see if it's fixed, that would be awesome. Hello, there we go. We are on and popping now. I see Herbert, Christopher, awesome. Hey girl, hey. Adams, yes. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Kayla and Latrice, for you guys fixing that, because the chat is where it's at. Okay, in the house, yes. All right, perfect. So we are on and popping. So if you want to use the Q&A, just use that for like any questions that you guys have, like for the end, or anything that that I can address at the end of it. But definitely, I like an interactive masterclass, y'all. It allows me to answer y'all's questions and be what's needed. Okay, so we're about to dive into these 3 phases. Okay, that is the meat and the potatoes of this masterclass. But I have to make sure that y'all are on the same page, because this is big. Branding versus marketing. I want you to put a hand up, give me an emoji or something in the chat if you feel like branding versus marketing is one of those things that's like, I hear it, but I really don't know the very distinct difference between the two. Because it's a very big difference, and it truly impacts how you go through this process and how you can get next steps in your business. Yes. So what is branding? Branding is developing your foundational message that solves your ideal client's problems and creates visuals around them. Do you see how first I said message, solving problems, and then I put creating visuals? We'll talk about that in a second. But you see in the GIF, it takes strategy. It starts with strategy. If it does not start with strategy, then how can you move forward and make very intentional decisions beyond that? Okay. And then marketing is sharing that message to your ideal clients to get them to know, like, and trust you. Okay. So, it's you tweet it, snap it, Instagram it, YouTube it, TikTok it, LinkedIn it, you name it. All those are different marketing ways. But if you're going to market something, even your website, if you're going to market something, don't you need words? Don't you need to convince somebody? Don't you need to connect with people? Don't you need them to click or take some type of action to be able that will allow them to move forward through your experience? I hear all the time people get caught up in, I have a marketing, or I need help with marketing, when that's some high levels, that's next level. But if your branding and your systems aren't in line, how can you effectively and efficiently truly market something to people to get them to go through whatever you're trying to get them to do? Okay, so that's also what I'm going to talk about today. But the essence of this is branding is essential to marketing effectively. Okay, branding is first, marketing is afterwards. And if you can remember that, that will really help you as people move forward, really help you put yourself on what should I be focusing on, right? It'll help you give you direction on, is this a marketing problem? Is this a branding problem? Is it a systems problem throughout your decision-making process, okay? And this is what I was talking about, y'all, newsflash. That fancy and that pretty logo that we are all, and again, as a fellow creative, that fancy and pretty logo, y'all, it don't matter and it will not work. I'm sorry to break it to you. It does not matter and it will not work unless it is rooted in strategy. It will not. It will not. Imagine McDonald's colors, the vibe, the energy, the visuals you get with the McDonald's brand applied to some high-end luxury brand. Do you think that will make sense? Do you think that when you see that the connection will be, this is a very high-end exclusive meant for, a certain type of clientele versus any and everybody? And I just made an example, everybody going to McDonald's. Nothing wrong with McDonald's. Let me make sure I make that clear. Nothing's wrong with McDonald's, but it's two very distinct emotions you get with those two brands, and it's two very strong types of visuals you get, but there was strategy put in place to get you to bring about those emotions and make that influence. Okay, so let's get going. Phase one, the foundation and the frame. Okay, so like I said, with brand is all about the branding phase of your business. Okay, again, I want to make sure I make a note. If you did not download or have the workbook ready to go along with the masterclass to take notes and answer any questions, it's inside the chat. And in a second, we're about to start filling some stuff in over there. Okay, so branded, two things. Branding consists of two elements: brand strategy and brand identity. You'll see here that your brand strategy allows you to create your brand identity. Okay, like I said, your visuals, they do not come first. You have to have the strategy first that influences the brand identity. Okay, I'm not sure if it came through disabled. Okay, let's see if I can put the workbook back in here again for y'all. Okay, I just posted it too, so let us know if y'all can see it in the chat now. So the brand strategy allows you to create your brand identity, okay? And I'm gonna go into detail in a second of more of what that means. Together, they will produce your brand, okay? Strategy plus identity together equals you having an actual brand. And a brand is the way that the customers perceive about you and how they feel about your business or your offerings. It is very emotion heavy. It's an intuition. It's a feeling. It is all about the fuzzy stuff about a brand that really gets into it. But you can't create the fuzzy stuff if you don't have the real intentional, deep strategy stuff first. Okay. After you have your brand, it is promoted through marketing. Okay. So think of this as like a graphic that really shows the steps and the order for you to be able to take this. And then with marketing, there are so many types of marketing on, and I just gave you all a gist. This is not a lot. I gave you a gist. You have so many different ways that you can broadcast your message out to the world. Okay. So sometimes you don't need all these, especially if you're a solopreneur or if you're just starting out. It can be very overwhelming, and you don't need to be everywhere for everybody up front. Pick one or two that best meets where your ideal clients show up, and that's where you can really make the most impact. So for branding, your brand DNA consists of these two, okay? Brand strategy and your brand identity. So what does that look like? For your brand strategy, it includes three components. Your client, that's who specifically is your ideal client and how can you connect with them. That also includes your solution. Why should these people you're trying to talk to care about your particular service? How will it transform their lives? Okay. And then lastly, your position. How can you position yourself in your ideal client's mind as the absolute best solution for them? Okay. First, look at who you're talking to. Two, look at your solution of what are you actually offering them? When I'm not talking about the general stuff, the things, what value are they truly getting from you out of your service or your offering? And then lastly, your position. How are you positioning? How are you framing? How are you communicating what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing to make sure they're like, you know what? That I need them. That's exactly the person that I need to style my space or design my space or remodel my home or do this construction. That they nailed it on the head. They know I need this. I can connect with them. How can you be able to communicate that in a way that is a no-brainer to your ideal client? So we're going to talk about that today. Also, your identity. These are some of the elements of the visuals that are essential for you as you're growing or developing your business. We're going to talk your business house. These are the visual components that are very important. I had a client tell me one time, we did her brand book. If you don't have a brand book, I highly advise you work with a brand strategist and a brand designer, or there may be some people who can do both. But collectively, they're able to give you a brand book, brand guidelines, brand manual. There's so many different names, but these are some of the essential components that you should have in it, because this is what drives that visual element, the pretty stuff that everybody wants. That drives the pretty stuff, but you can't get the pretty stuff if you don't have the strategy to say what the pretty stuff needs to be, right? So let me know in the chat or raise your hand or in the Q&A if you see the distinction and if this is making sense so far. Okay, I got a hand raised. Definitely let me know. So I want to make sure that we all follow along. Okay, got some more hand raised. Follow along to make sure that you understand the steps, because that's going to influence how you're able to move forward. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the brand strategy. So this is where the workbook will be, where the workbook comes in hand. So if you have it handy, go ahead and pull it out. If you have it on another tab, go ahead, you can toggle between, and I'm going to go over what's in the workbook in the slides as well. But this is the place for you to take notes, okay? So as we go through, things will hit you, things will make sense, and connections will be made, right? So I want you to have a place to jot it down. So the first thing we said was your client, okay? Your ideal client should be at the forefront of everything you do, right? You have to be able to understand and connect with them to see what's the best possible solution to solve their problems. So there are three things we can look at when identifying your ideal client. One, many of you have heard of this already, and many of you have been instructed from the YouTube and the Googling, the downloads, the freebies, whatever, about demographics. And that's the statistical information about your ideal client. So some of these categories may look familiar. I like to work with, or I want to work with somebody of a certain age, gender, income, location. They typically have this type of occupation or educational background. The thing about demographics, are they important? Yes. Do they make a difference? They can make an impact? Yes. Are they the most important? No. Okay. So the order I'm about to give you, these three kind of categories for identifying your ideal client, I'm ranking them from lowest to highest. And that's just up in importance as far as the impact that it will make for you connecting and understanding your ideal client. Okay. So they're important, yes. But the next level of importance is really the psychographics. Okay. Those are the human traits and qualitative, so put an L there, qualitative information about your ideal client. So what can that look like? They live a certain lifestyle, they have certain interests, they have certain ambitions, hobbies, values. This is very important because I'm going to make up an example. Let's say you want to design, let's say you are an interior designer. Specifically, you really like working with stay-at-home moms. Again, I'm giving a random example. Let's say you like to work with stay-at-home moms, and generally stay-at-home moms within this area that you like to work with, they like to do yoga in the afternoon. They may do a brunch date with their girlfriends, and then they're on carpool lane to help to pick up the kids and then go to all the kids' activities after school. Okay, that's the lifestyle, right? She values really big on family. Okay, that's a very big deal. Also, her friends, relationships. So it's important for you to know this because this can impact how you show up in your business and where you show up. So if you know that you're dealing with a stay-at-home mom, and she's, in and out the house, or she's always very socialite, how you present your services to her, how you talk to her, how you're able to showcase the value and the need and what she needs out of your service to her, it can be very different than somebody who works a 9 to 5, 6 days a week, stuck in the office, does not have a social life, workaholic, travels a lot, and is about the grind and the money, and they on a consistency. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense of how this is a level up from your demographics, because you're able to say, hey, I'm hosting, I'm gonna do an installation for a family and I like doing these type of installations for these types of families, right? Their lifestyle, their interests, their values, that's very different. And how we're able to really hone in on who you want to work with, what their lifestyle is like. You're able to craft messaging that directly applies to them. And guess what that does? Allows you to be an absolute no-brainer in their mind. Okay. So that's why psychographics is a level above the demographics. You're very welcome, Ms. Walker. Okay. Now, I get a lot of pushback, and I'm ready for my pushback people. Come on, I'm ready for you. Because you hear this all the time, but I like to work with a lot of different people. I don't want to niche down. Niching down is going to lose me money, right? I see some people in the chat. Yes, y'all, it is real. And I'm telling you, I hear it all the time. And that's okay. That's okay. Because it's a real concern, right? It's a real concern. But how about if you reframe that and focus on what type of person you want to work with? When a lot of people say niching down, they're thinking I have to work with a certain, for y'all interior designers, but let's say like for myself, if I had to work with a specific type of industry, I like work with all industries. I have no objection to the industries, but there's a certain type of individual, a certain type of business I like to work with. I like to work with solopreneurs or very small teams. I do not like to work with organizations with 15 bosses. and 30 people. It's a lot of decision making. It's a lot of people trying to make decisions on direction of the business. Okay, does that make sense? A certain type, I don't care what industry you're in. Solopreneurs, I like working with individuals who are on the newer, early established side. Even if you're more experienced and you're trying to rebrand or refresh or reevaluate, we can still talk and have a discussion, but it's more to it than just putting down that specific title. Okay, and this is why the type of person you want to work with, that falls into the psychographics. Does that make sense, everybody? The psychographics. So you can niche down. You can niche down, and it's not saying niching down. You're niching down in a way that you can clearly be a no-brainer in people's mind. Okay. When you're niching down as well, a common phrase you might hear people say is, would you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond? Big fish in a small pond, you can eat about probably 50 fish. Let's say that's clients, because you're able to really dominate a small space and be that go-to and that easy referral that it's a no-brainer why people need you and what you're doing. Smaller fish in a bigger pond, you're able to get little bites here and there. Yeah, but you're missing a lot of people, because a lot of people are saying, well, you might be for me, but I don't know. Well, I kind of can connect with your messaging, branding, the brand strategy. I can kind of connect with what you're talking about, but you're not an immediate yes. That big fish in a small pond, you're an immediate yes to them, right? So that's what I want you to think about when you're really thinking about this whole ideal client, niching down, finding your identity. Okay. Then lastly, identifying your ideal client. This is the highest level of information that will truly impact how you show up and how you can communicate, attract, and gain clients. And I created the client transformation matrix. Okay. So this table allows you to extract external struggles and internal emotions that your clients are suffering from and how to communicate that with them. So what does that look like? You'll see this chart in your workbook as well. This matrix in your workbook. So I'm going to break it down for you very simply on how you can fill this out. And really you conduct this by doing market research. Okay. So before working with you, think about this as your point A. Okay, your point A of where people are starting, what are they going through? Why are they even looking for an interior designer? Why? It has to be a reason. Most people wake up one day, I think one day I need an interior designer. Something is going on for them for the idea to even cross their mind to start searching. So what are they frustrated with and what are they struggling with the most? Okay, what does life look like for them with their pain points, their struggles, their challenges? Jot them down here. And again, a best way to complete this is talk to people. You have to talk to people. You have to use people's words. You have to let them tell you what it is by talking to multiple people. Okay. Talk to many people and your ideal clients at that. If you have people you worked with in the past and you're like, I loved working with them, they loved working with me, those were the perfect ideal people for you to be able to get this information from, because it makes a difference in how you can craft strong messaging that can really resonate with people. Okay. Next is the emotions. So before working with you, they have these problems that they're going through, but it's making them feel a certain kind of way. Another thing you hear people say commonly, people buy with their emotions and justify with logic later. So how are these problems making them feel? What are they worried about? What impact is this making in their life that they just have these struggles and challenges that are not getting them what they want? Then after, what are their deep desires? What are these people dreaming of, hoping of? Okay, what solution are they really looking for after working with you? You have to know what their point B is, because if you're going to talk to them and say, hey, you need to hire me as your interior designer, I'm going to be able to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If they look at you like, that's great, but that's not what I'm looking for. That doesn't impact me in the way I need it to for my life or my family. Then that's a disconnect, right? That's a miss. So we have to know collectively the people, one, you like working with, and two, that resonate with your style, your vibe, what the type of experience you want to give, what does that look like for them afterwards? And then the same thing with the emotions. How would that make them feel? Because if you can get people to really close their eyes and imagine what it's like once they've reached that other side and why you are the only and best solution to get them there, that's buying power. Okay. Success statements. What does life look like for them after the problem is solved? So you would complete these as if you're finishing these sentences. So imagine your ideal client is talking. Yes, finally that my problems are solved. I can get, I got it. I can finally do what? And it should be their words. Okay, you have to use their words. And then the other part is stakes. What's at stake if they don't move forward? We have to be able to give them that other side, because it's like, hey, if you don't get this problem solved, if you don't get this space renovated, if you don't get this construction done, if you don't elevate your house or space to what you need it to be, then this is what's at stake. That also has huge buying and decision-making power for somebody, because they really look at, do I want to stay here? You know, do I want to stay stuck? Do I want to still be right here? I want to be able to entertain or grow my family, whatever the case may be. How can you paint that picture? You have to paint. All this about painting the picture for them. Okay. And that has a big impact in the content, the words, the messaging that you do to, one, attract people, get people to actually make the purchase, and then get them to refer you. Okay. Remember, all of this is still branded. Brand strategy is what we're still talking about right now. And that's why it's so important. It's very meaty, but it's the essential, because once you have that frame and that foundation built, it is so much easier to do your systems and do your website, because you've laid down a strong foundation. Okay, so that was your client. The next section in your workbook, you'll see your solution. So this is the unique experiences that you've had play a big role in how you show up. Okay, you must be able to craft a signature solution that is unique to you and the way you bring value to your ideal clients. So what are some common questions you can ask yourself about to uncover your story and to uncover your expertise? So first, why'd you start this business in the first place? Why do you do what you do? It has to be a purpose behind why. Because if not, just about anybody, you could possibly just go work for a 9-to-5 and work for somebody else. The journey and the road of entrepreneurship, it is hard work. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is hard work, but it's so rewarding. But you have to be able to center it back to why. Okay. Another thing is, what testimonies do you want to be known for? Why do you want people to refer you? Do you want to be known as the cheapest, quickest, fastest interior designer or company in town? If you do, that's fine. But you have to identify, what do you want people to spread the word for you about? Okay. Do you want to be known as, hey, this is a very luxe company. We're very luxury. This is what we do. We only deal with these type of clientels because we can connect with them. We know what they need, and we're able to provide the best service for them. What is that? What do you feel that you do extremely well in your business? You have to be able to look at, what is that? I want you to give yourself some pat on the back and give yourself some round of applause and some kudos. Because there are some things you do extremely well, and how can you either elevate that or make that shine and really showcase that when you're communicating about what you do and who you do it for? And then your story. Like I told you before, I have a undergrad, a microbiology major, biochemistry minor undergrad. I was straight sciences for a long time. But how was I able to use that part of my story and really integrate that into the world of entrepreneurship and business, and helping other small businesses really elevate their branding systems and website? That analytical thinking brain of mine, the analytical systems and maps and whiteboards, I'm a whiteboard queen, okay? So all of that stuff from that part of my life, at first I just dropped it like, oh, that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. But the more I educated myself and really got into the world and really began doing this and working with people, that's a very big part of why people choose me over maybe some other brand and web designers. Because I integrate the systems component in how I deliver my experience. Okay. So what are some things about your story that makes you unique, but put your whole story down. Sometimes you need to just put it all out there on paper and come back, and then you can start seeing synapses happen that maybe you think on surface is not valuable or doesn't add value to your business. And it really, really does. Okay. What other passions, expertise, and experiences are you bringing to the table? It may not fall in the professional, educational, and professional world, but what else can you bring to the table that makes you a no-brainer for people? And then what do you offer that only you can do or something that differs from others in your industry? You might do something better, quicker, faster, more efficiently, smaller, bigger. What is it that you can do? Some people, it could be connections. Some people, my thing is, hey, I have a very strong connect in Paris, and that's how I'm able to deliver some very unique type of things in my business that is not common you see in my industry. Okay. What is it that you can add to your pot, your solution pot? Okay. Also with your solution, this is a huge one because a lot of people get stuck on features versus benefits. A lot of people want to talk about the features all day long. So here are some examples. Features are the tangible deliverables that people receive after working with you. So let's talk about for a house. Some examples. I want you to imagine a realtor for this example, okay? A realtor. They're showcasing a house or trying to market a house, trying to connect with potential buyers. And they're like, listen, this house comes with a huge 25 by 30 square foot dining room. It comes with the newest appliances. They're stainless steel. They're smart technology. You can connect your iPad and your phone to the refrigerator. It's a 1-story house. It has this extra large backyard with this certain type of greenery and turf, and it has all the specific hardwood towels and hardwood over carpet. You give it all these features of this house, the tangibles that they can physically see. That's great. That's very great. However, what is more important are the intangibles. And here's why. Because they actually are based on the transformation that you can make, that the clients will receive after working with you. So examples. That large dining room area, why does this family need that? Well, they need it because I have a large family. I need the space to host large events. Okay. Why is it important to have a stainless steel and smart, up-to-date, newest appliances? I have a big family and we cook daily for everybody. And so we need to make sure we have something that can withstand the frequency we're going to use it. One story. I have small children. I want to avoid going upstairs because I don't want the kids to fall and break their neck or whatever the case may be. I don't want it, or is the house, I want something that's easy and on one level. A large backyard. I want the space for the kids to play because I want to need several toys in the back. I want them to be able to experience that type of lifestyle as a childhood because I did when I was younger and it was most memorable times in my life. And then white tile and hardwood because I have pets and I'll be doggone if I'm getting carpet cleaner and easy vac and I gotta buy this and that instead of a hardwood floor, swifter it up or wipe it down easy and I'm good to go. Let me know in the chat if this makes sense about the distinction between the two, because the benefits, this is why people buy. People, they like features. And I'm not saying they're not important, but the thing about features is them alone do not allow you to connect with people on the point they need to. So I'm that realtor. Once I first understand where you are, what you need, what your dynamics are of your family, think about the words I just used, y'all. That's your psychographics. That's your client transformation matrix, right? I know what you're struggling with. I know what you need and don't need in a house. I know what you're looking for, you're not looking for, and why you're not looking for it. I know your lifestyle and how these different aspects of your house have to align with that. So because I'm doing this intake of what you need, I'm able to tell you the benefits of why this house is the best solution for you and your family. Okay. So how can that similarly relate to as an interior designer? When you're doing your initial consultations and discovery calls and conversations with potential clients, you should be getting like an intake or some type of information about their lifestyle, what they need, what functionalities they need, why they need this transformation of this space, why they're hiring an interior designer. When you do hire it, what are they trying to get out of it? Are they trying to host parties? Are they trying to just downsize? Is it an old home they're trying to renovate? Are they trying to put it back on the market? Are they collaborating with the realtor? Let me know in the chat, y'all, if that makes sense, because this is the biggest thing of when you're able to really highlight the benefits. This is, again, the type of messaging that you should be putting and incorporating in your branding as to why people buy. I see somebody say yes. Yes, it makes a huge difference. And it can also have you stand out if you see most people going around with these features, but why these features matter is able to connect with the lead or the prospect on why they need to do it and the impact it will make and transformation it will make in their lives. Okay. So you'll see a space on that worksheet for you to jot some down there as you have been able to, some have come to mind. Okay. For the position, it's the last one of your brand strategy. We went over client, we went over solution, and this is your position. Your brand's position is a space that you occupy in the industry and in the mind of your ideal client. Okay, it showcases why you're the best solution to solve their problem. So you've seen me talk about this in several different ways up until now. So I want you to be sure, can you answer these 3 questions? Okay, so for myself, who do you serve? Again, I enjoy serving service-based solopreneurs. What do you do? I help them clarify their brand experience through branding systems and website. And why does that matter? Because after they go through this experience, they're able to elevate their business with confidence and professionalism. Okay. These are 3 very fundamental questions that when somebody comes up to you, you should be able to have a quick answer or just internally have an answer, because these are the 3 questions that impact, again, what you're saying and the messaging, and then eventually into your marketing endeavors. So in other words, what problems are you, whose problems are you solving? Because everybody's struggling with something. For people to say, man, I think I need to hire XYZ, or I need to buy XYZ. There's a need or a want there. So what is it? You need to know that so you can make sure that you deliver on that for them. And then what solution are you providing? Because everybody's seeking some relief. Nobody wants to be in this constant overarching pain and problems and struggles and challenges, right? Everybody wants some relief. They want the other side of the rainbow. So they want to overcome that. Okay. And then why should you ask yourself, why should they care about your solution? Because we are bombarded with so much information every single day. And so we need to filter, right? You need to filter who you want to know, like, and trust to resolve their problems. And to do that, you need to be able to clearly and confidently communicate what you do, who you do it for, and why they should care. And you can only do that by knowing who you're talking to, your ideal client, the problems and stuff they're going through, how they're going through it, what they need, and creating and having a solution and an experience for them to go through for them to get to this other side. Okay. Listen, y'all, when this trio of this who, what, and why come together, you get the clarity, the confidence, and the clients. And I'm speaking from experience and from one-on-one clients and from working with several one-on-one clients. You get the clarity because you're clear about what you're saying. You ain't fumbling over your words. When people say you like people, I think it's a meme or this like say it with your chest. Like you can say it. You can say it confidently and bold and clearly so people know, hey, actually, you know what? I might not need her, but I know my cousin just moved into this house and they've been dying to host big events. And they feel like it's not set up yet for that. So you know what? I understand what Johnny, I'll make up a name. What I'm gonna say Joanne, my last person who commented. Joanne, I know what Joanne does. I know the impact. So yeah, I'm gonna refer them to them because that's a really great fit. You know, it's not for them. You never know who somebody else's knows. So you have to be able to clearly communicate that and say it with confidence, and that can get you some clients. Yeah, yes, Joanne. Okay, so that so together you can make a power positioning statement. And so this is a very simple tool that I'm sharing with you that can, in a strategy that is so powerful that you can use when you at Starbucks, when you in the airport line, when you checking out through TSA, when you talking to your neighbor down the street, when you at a bar trying to have a good time. Somebody always asks you, what do you do? Right? And then the most common question we probably get in this world, what do you do? So what can you say as a very succinct and very clear statement that encompasses the three things we just talked about? Okay, that lets people audit first. Ooh, I think that's something I need to talk to because that's actually what I'm struggling with and that's what I need. So yeah, let me follow up with them on whatever the action is. Or, you know what, like I said, my cousin just moved into a house and they've been talking about this. Let me refer them. Okay, so what does that look like for me as an example? I help service-based solopreneurs do what? Create their signature brand experience. Why does that matter? Because they want to confidently and professionally show up as a legit business. Okay, that's a way that I can very clearly, people know what I do, who I do it for, and why they should care. And if they want to learn more, then definitely it's a segue into a deeper conversation of, oh, okay, how do you do that? Well, I do it through branding, really get brand clarity, helping people really get on their foundation, establish their foundation. Then I help them really create structure and streamline systems to deliver the client experience that they know they want to, and that's signature to them. And then we design and develop their website. So they have a very strong online presence. They can show up confidently and get them some clients. So do you see how you're able to really, really be able to clearly articulate that, but you can't do that if you don't have the strategy in place, okay? So the takeaway from that brand strategy component is you are in the business of solving people's problems. Now you can see my shirt says, I solve problems. That's what it is. Call it needs or problems. As an entrepreneur, you are in the business of solving people's problems. As a business, you're in the business of solving people's problems. Love me some Shark Tank. So that if you ever watch Shark Tank, you will frequently hear one of the sharks say something about what problem are you solving? Like, why? What problem are you solving? Why would people need this? Why would people even want to choose you in this industry? Okay, so you're looking at what people, what struggles, and what solutions. All right. The essential takeaway for that branding, brand strategy component is branding is essential to marketing effectively. A lot of questions come about, how do I market? How do I get my name out there? How do I make sure that, you know, people hear about me or get more clients? You don't have a strategy or a very strong message to get them even in the door or to connect with you, right? So your messaging is a byproduct of your branding, and you cannot effectively market without a message, a clear message at that, okay? So real quick in the chat, let me know if you have any questions about brand strategy so we can keep it moving along. I want to make sure I respect y'all's time and get y'all out by 1 o'clock. That's close to 1. Any questions about brand strategy? That's your client, your solution, and your positioning. And again, you can always reference your workbook to add you some notes. Your brand identity. Remember I told you the DNA is 2-part. Branding is 2-part, strategy and visuals. So once you have the client, solution, and position, you now have what's needed to develop the visuals. I get this all the time of people want to jump into the logo, jump into the color palette, jump into all the pretty stuff. And then when I ask, have you done any brand strategy? Well, it's like, well, you know, kinda, not really, or maybe sometimes a a flat out no. Yes, the webinar went at I'm Central, 1 p.m. Central time. The brand identity, yes, the visuals. So what is some examples of what that looked like? So I put some screenshots together for y'all to see what that could look like for any type of professional brand strategist, coach, or designer that y'all work with. So at the top, you'll see a story. This is an example of a brand book of a former client of mine, her final deliverable that encompass some pieces that encompass all the strategy we've done that she can walk away with clarity and confidence to say, my name is so-and-so, I do this, here's what I do. If you're interested, I would love to work with you, and this is what the experience looks like. Okay. So you see her tagline, her slogan, her vision, her mission, her story. Your brand story is kind of about you, but it's not really about you. Okay, it's about how you have gone through what you've gone through, made this impact either in yourself or with other people, and what your clients can expect through your experience. It's really about them. It's really about them. Okay, so with this story, you also have a color palette that you can be able to develop. Every color is associated with words, emotions, feelings, meaning, messaging. Every color, every shade, every hue. And as an interior designer, most of you know that. When you pick a color palette or a color scheme for a particular space, it evokes a certain type of oomph that you're trying to convey within that space. Same thing with your business, same thing with your brand. Okay. So after that, a mood board, same thing, personality, values. And when you think about this, if you have to think about the process you go through when you do interior design for a client, you see it's very similar that you can apply that to your business. What is the personality of my client? The values that they have. How can I make sure I reflect that in this redesigning or restructuring of this space within their home or their business, right? Same thing applies to your brand. What is the vibe that I'm going for, and how can I illustrate that through the visuals? But I can only do this because I know who my client is, what solution I'm providing to them, and the positioning how I can communicate to them in the position I have in their minds. Okay. Then you can, and also your brand book guide, your final brand deliverable that you would get should have some variety of logos to use in different formats and use in different ways that people can see you. Typography, same thing, fonts. Fonts have strategies. Certain fonts give off a certain vibe, give off a certain way that people interpret your brand and the words associated with your brand. Okay. And then lastly, sometimes you have branding collateral. This is just for my company, but for some other companies, it may be digital cards, it may be thank you cards, it may be flyers. What is that for you? But the consistency should stay the same. And you cannot be consistent if you don't have the solid strategy and foundation to build upon. Okay. Lastly, photos. We're going to talk about photos towards the end, but you should have a collection of brand photography. If that's not a point that you're at right now where you're able to get some professional brand photography, then definitely there are some resources I have for stock photography that can definitely help you as well. Okay. It's already to about 45 minutes left. So I'm gonna move through the Q&A. If y'all can add your questions in the Q&A box, then I can answer them at the end. I wanna make sure we get through and y'all have all the time y'all need to ask me whatever you would like. So on to the next one, we're almost done. So you have a strong brand, right? That's what we just established. So put in the chat, give me a hand raise, give me something for me to know that y'all are good on branding, y'all have an understanding, and we are on to know what's next after you've gotten this brand strategy and this brand identity together. All right, perfect. Thank y'all. Hands raised. So now what? Let's move on to the systems. And I told you the branded phase, that branding is the meatiest, it's the most dense, it is the hardest for some people because a lot of deep strategies, a lot of mental capacity that has to go to that to get that what we say, that frame and that foundation laid. That's a lot of manual hard labor to get it done. But once it's done, now we can look at the interiors, right? So we want to build it. And remember, building is creating an experience around the message. We've established the message. Now, how can we bring that to life, right? How can we make that unique to us? How can we make this signature and like yes, I need to go with them. So back to your workbook again, you can do this quick reflection of what you're currently going through and what it currently looks like for your business. So list all the tools and platforms that you're currently using and what you're using them for. You'll be surprised by how many clients I have and how many people I talk to that they've signed up for so much stuff over time. They don't know where's what, who's what. I got this login. Wait, what does this do? How do I use it? That connects to that. I can do this in the same platform. Write them down. I'm helping you write them down so that you can know, especially as we're entering a new year, a lot of this stuff can be eliminated. Okay, so, and then how much they cost? And then what tasks would you like to see more streamlined and automated? As a solopreneur, as like I said, about 95% of y'all who registered did say y'all were solopreneurs. And even if you're not, as a team, what do you want to be streamlined and automated so it's easier for you to manage? And so you can allocate your resources to more revenue generating or just client attracting activities. Okay, what type of experience you want to create for your customers? What things do you want them to preach about? We talked about testimonials, right? What is it that you want people to rave and crave about and say, yes, she nailed it, he nailed it, this is the person I want to be able to work with? And then lastly, how would you like to feel after the customer experience is new and improved? How do you want to feel as a business owner, as an entrepreneur? Do you want to feel relieved? Do you want to feel happy? What is it? After you feel like you got an improved, streamlined systems, where's the next vacation you going on? That's the energy that number 4 is asking. Okay. And so how can you make this happen? So I developed SMART systems, which we talked about at the very beginning. So your systems, your processes, you doing your business, they should be smart. So what does that mean? Seamless, easy to go through. You should develop it to where it's A to B is smooth. Okay. Also, it should be manageable. Whether you're managing it or you're handing it off to somebody, maybe a VA you may hire in the future, or maybe it's another team member or something you may do as kind of secondary. How can you be able to manage this in a way that is not overwhelming and doesn't lead to frustration, but allows you to still be happy in what you're doing? Automate it. We live in 2023. There's so many ways to automate stuff now. Some stuff might not natively be able to be automated in the system, but there's several tools and resources I can definitely share that can get you some type of automation so you're not tied to the computer or your phone or your tablet or your laptop 24/7. Okay, reliable. Your system got to be reliable. When somebody click that button, it should work. Right? We want that button to work, because if it doesn't work, then it's a disconnect. So how can we make it to where everything is working together cohesively? And lastly, timely. Is it timely and is it smooth enough for us to go through? So back to your workbook, you'll see a page there about the 4 S's. Okay. So these are the 4 S's and the 4 things that you should be looking at within your signature experience, within your services, to see how am I developing a smart system throughout it. Okay. So first look at your solution, your signature service that solves your ideal client's problems. What is that thing, the main thing? Now, what I've also seen with the several interior designers I've worked with, typically you have like a full service. Then you might have like e-design or designer in a day or retainer designer, or like a shopping day you may do if you're just doing like pieces and furniture and stuff. But what is that main service that you're wanting to promote? It's typically your high ticket service. That's generally what that is. And I call it your signature because that right there is your main thing, from you knowing your client, you knowing your solution, you knowing your positioning. That's that high ticket thing that solves their problem. So they're like, oh my God, you solved everything I need done at one service. Again, you're a no-brainer. Next thing is steps. Writing down and logging all of the steps that need to happen throughout the process to get them to their intended results. So look at the task. Client, from the very beginning, client clicks XYZ button on website. Client gets redirected to this form. Client completes form. Business owner, whoever you are, review form for approval before sending out a calendar invite. I know it's nitty gritty. You may think it's too tedious and then why should I do it? It's too much work. I tell you, it helps. You easily find gaps. It's like, oh, dang, I didn't think that. I need that to talk to each other. We get so wrapped up in the overarching thing about our business sometimes that we don't look at the nitty gritty details. Again, as solopreneurs, everything falls on us, but how can we do the work first and then make it efficient so we don't have to keep hitting these roadblocks every time? So the task and the timeline to complete these tasks, and then all the things and resources that need to fulfill it, the supplies. So a lot of times that's tools. Sometimes you need a physical tool. Maybe that's a computer, like a laptop. That's a tool. Sometimes you may need to conduct business. Maybe there's some certain templates. Maybe there's forms, questionnaires, mood board templates. What do you have in place that you can be able to share with, be able to use, change and tweak, very minimal, but still deliver the same client experience? And then the tech associated with it, platforms and programs that may be needed to help you deliver this client experience. And lastly, for some people, support. Who are the key individuals that are needed throughout your experience to make these steps and resources happen? For some people, again, you party of one, no problem with that. I've been party of one for some years, okay? Just started contracting with some people, but definitely it's possible, but you got to get everything set up first, okay? And that's what I love doing, and that's what I do. Okay, so after many people go through those 4 S's, I get it. You probably like, listen, that's a whole lot of stuff. Okay, it's a whole lot, but how do I streamline, organize, and automate it? Okay, once I got everything on paper, how do I bring this to fruition to make my life easier and smoother? And it's mind-blowing. So here's some software I'm going to give you to consider. A client relationship management system. You hear it called a CRM. That's very powerful. So you're not keeping track of people on an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Doc or something manual, but something that will capture people's information and keep it in a database. Okay, that's definitely something you can look into. Also, a social media planner, manager, or scheduler. There's several platforms out there that can automate this stuff for you and have it scheduled out so you're not having to feel the anxiety, to be honest, of when it's time to post. What do I say? How do I say? How can you be able to spread it out? Okay, online appointment and booking scheduler. Instead of, like I mentioned earlier, hey, are you available at 2:00 on Monday? Well, that doesn't work for me. How about Wednesday at 1? Well, I'm actually in a meeting, so can you do 5 o'clock on Saturday? Can somebody put in the chat if that applies? And it's no worries. Listen, I get it. I did the same thing. But when you do it, you see how you're tied to your computer. There's no efficiency. There's no automation. So how can you be able to be more online with it and allow people to be able to see your calendar? Hey, I'm sending you the link. Here's my calendar. I'm about to go drink me some coffee and go to the store. You go ahead and let me know when time works good for you. How can you be able to get it done so you're not doing it all by yourself? Also, domain and website hosting. Making sure that you have a strong online presence and is built on something that's reputable, but also something that's easy to manage. Okay. I have never had a website developer, even before I did websites. So there are platforms out there that you may not have to hire monthly assistants. There's ones out there that are very easy for even the people who are not techie to use and manage. Okay. Online forms, remember those questionnaires, intake forms, lead capture forms. How are they doing it online instead of them sending you an email? Okay. How, if you got after the email, you then got to copy and paste it, put it into this log or keep a written log. What type of way can you keep it to where everything is in one place and easy to access? Graphic and content creation. This is a big one because a lot of us are doing social media content on our own, or it's flyers on our own, or marketing assets. What type of graphic and content creation software can you use to be able to really hone in? Payment processing. Hopefully maybe it's time for no more Zelle me this money, cash at me this, DM me this. Let's look at what's some payment processing that can be able to do it. And yes, they all have common pushback is that they all have a transaction fee. That is very true. Typically it's 2.9% plus 30% of every transaction. Well, that is an expense that can be applied to your cost. To your investment price, to the quote you give the clients. House. Okay, Joanna, is that an app or is that a platform or something? Let me know. But payment processing is definitely something that's very important because it's, again, the automation of it. And it automatically sends the reminders, the receipts, all that stuff, along with the invoicing. Okay, so you're not manually creating invoices in Word or in Excel to then email to people and then, or in PowerPoint. And then when they get it, it's okay, well, now how do I pay? How can you make your experience signature and streamlined and smart? Okay, so remember, first you have to deeply and fully understand who your ideal clients are and what they desire to be, aka brand strategy, so that you can then create the best client experience that helps them solve their problem. Okay, you are in the business of solving people's problems, but you cannot create an experience for them. You cannot create a service or a way for them to be able to receive what you want them to have and what they want if you don't know who they are and what they even want. House. Okay, it's a platform site for designers and contractors. Oh, awesome. Haven't heard of that one. Let me write that down. Thank you for sharing, Joanne. House. Okay, awesome. Okay, that's systems. Okay, good on time in 30 minutes. Any comments, questions, concerns? Okay, I have a question. What if you don't have your ideal clients yet? How do you figure out what their pain points or what they struggle with or that they desire? Okay, great question. What if you don't have, wait, let me reread it. What if you don't have your ideal clients? Yeah, okay, cool. Talk to people. So if you, let's say it's people you have worked with, okay? I'm gonna give you both sides. These people you have worked with, you're like, listen, that was a client from you know where, and I don't want nobody. I don't want no more of those type of clients. It wasn't smooth. It was a pain to work. It was more timely than it needed to be. There was a disconnect. It wasn't the best type of client for me. Look at the profile so you can answer those same questions, the demographics, psychographics, and the client transformation matrix. You can answer and go through all of those exercises, even for the people you don't want to work with, because it will allow you to highlight the no's. Okay, that's one way to do that. If they're not their pain points, you have to talk to people. Another thing is, if you feel like I haven't worked with nobody and they have nobody to talk to, you can start with family and friends. Ask around. You just have to talk to people. You have to talk to people. Some people go to social. You have polls. I'm gonna use Instagram, for example. You have polls. You have stickers. You can find people whose profiles are generally like your ideal clients and ask them questions. Engage with them on social, on their post. And those are the type of questions you ask them once you're able to identify. And again, it's all this is part of market research. That's the point. It's really market research. And as you're doing your research, those demographics, psychographics, and client transformation matrix exercises give you the types of questions that you should be asking and the type of information you need to best be able to do that. What is a realistic budget per month for tools, platforms, list. Okay, Mimi, that is a loaded question because there's so many ways that you can be able to do that. And there's so many different ways and combinations. So DM me after the masterclass and we can have a deeper conversation about that because it depends. It really depends. And there's no set answer for that, depending on what your experience looks like. Of course, you're very welcome. All right, y'all. We're on our last phase. We're almost there to the end. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me because I got something good and juicy for you at the end. So phase 3 is, again, your open house. So quick recap. What have we done? You have your foundation and your frame laid. That's your branding, your strategy. You're good to go. Next, you have your systems. You got your piping, your plumbing, all the parts in the house to make it work, your business house. Okay, that's your systems. Things are connected, things talking to each other, things are flowing, it's operational, it's functional, we good. Okay, now that you have the back office basically, and your wording, your messaging, your content, how can you then broadcast that to the world, right? How can you present this as an open house and say, you know what, I'm ready for business and I'm ready to share this message with my peoples. So again, as another recap, we talked about the difference between branding and marketing. So remember that. Going into this recap as well, we talked about branding, all of these, the strategy and the visuals, all that together brings about to make a brand in the branding. And then you promote that through marketing. Okay, this is part of where this phase 3 comes in. The one that I want to specifically talk about in this masterclass is your website, which is a marketing tool. All these other ones are ones I mentioned at the beginning of the masterclass. It's just other ways that you can connect with your audience. Okay, so for website, this is also another strategy that I have, and I call it the simple site roadmap. Okay, so it is 6 steps along here, and this is particularly again for websites. That's another big question I got from a lot of people on how to create the website, how to make it flow, how to get people excited about it, what to put on it. That's what I'm about to go over for you. So first is starting off with the strategy. That's the S. The I is your imagery. The M is the message, which we talked about. And the P is your process, which we've talked about. The L is your layout. And the E is your extras. All of these collectively make up how your website will function, what people will think, whether they take action, and how well it looks compared to others. Okay, so with that said, we'll go one by one. Your strategy. Looking at your website strategy, every website has to have a primary goal. Okay, a lot of websites have a lot of options. There should be a primary thing that you want people to do. Remember, we as humans, especially in this digital age in 2023, we got an attention span like this, right? Our attention span is so short. So what is it that people need to know? Okay, I'm here. I need to go here, click this. Okay, I'm ready to move on because I got other things to do. So what is the primary goal that you want to showcase of the action you want people to take and the content and the layout of each page? Okay. So what is the primary purpose that people are coming to your site for? Are they booking a service, filling out an inquiry form, scheduling a free consultation, taking an online class? What is that primary action people are going to take? Because that's when needs to be front, center, in multiple places. Okay. So people aren't getting lost and confused on, okay, what am I doing here? Okay. The I, success images. When I tell you guys, quality matters, especially in y'all's field, especially in interior design. Quality images make a difference, especially for the type of clients that are looking at what their room and what their space could look like after you finish working with them. So one of the best things you can do and invest, one of the best things you can do and invest in your business is branded professional photography. But let me give you this caveat. If you remember back in branding, how I showed you a past client, how we took her professional brand photos. You can't get professional brand photos until you have the strategy component done. Because you're telling the brand photographer, yeah, I want to take brand photos for my new website. or because I need a rebrand. Okay, awesome. So what's the vibe? You know, what message are we trying to convey through these photos? What are you using them for? How will they, you know, be used? All those type of questions, you know, who is your clients? What type of props do we need? What type of scenery do we need to be in to convey the type of service you're offering? You see all those questions? All those questions cannot get answered unless you have the strategy done to then present something like a brand book to a photographer, professional photographer, and say, hey, this is what my brand is working with. This is a strategy. This is what I'm going for. This is what I want. And then typically your brand photographer can take that and then create that experience, create those visuals through the photos, but they have to have something to work with. And those are the type of photos that make a difference and impact people's buying decisions, no matter the industry. Okay. Now, for a lot of people who say, I may not have the budget or be ready to work with a professional brand photographer, not quite yet, that is fine. There are some resources I have for you that you can get some very high quality, high resolution, because you need high resolution for a website, or high resolution within the website spectrum so it doesn't decrease the load speed of stock photos and videos. So with that, here's two big ones that are 100% free. So they're downloadable free quality stock photos. Unsplash is one, that's unsplash.com, and Pexels is another one. The beautiful thing about Pexels is that it's photography and they have stock video. So like it may be a few seconds worth of a certain video you can integrate throughout the site to give it more contrast, to give it more depth, and to make the site more interesting if that aligns with your brand, okay? Don't just be adding stuff to add stuff. Stuff needs to align to the strategy you set out for the first hour of this masterclass, what we talked about. That is the meat and the potatoes, okay? Your M is your message. Well, we already talked about this. That's your client transformation matrix. All of this is tied into your messaging, all of this. Because you're saying, hey, so-and-so, I know you're going through this. I know you're tired of it. I know it's making you feel this way and it's making you look online or seek this type of service. And then when you get this type of service, you're looking for it to do this for you in your life. And it's going to make you feel like this. And you keep telling yourself, man, if I can just get this done, I can finally do so-and-so. And you're telling yourself, man, if I don't get this done, I'm gonna be stuck like Chuck. I'm gonna be stuck like Chuck right here where I am. And I just can't. Okay. So remember, this matrix, the details you gather through your market research and your ideal client give you the foundation you need to develop that strong verbiage for your website. These are where your words are coming from, the conversations you have and your brand messaging. All that comes together. You'll know exactly what they're going through, what their needs are, and what types of solutions they're seeking to get their problem solved, okay? Your P is your process. Remember those SMART systems? The solutions, the steps, the support, the supplies, all those things that you have. This is just an example of how you can create, let's say, a regular Google Sheet or Excel spreadsheet, and you can just put them on in. This is how you can create your step-by-step list. Some people, you want to write it on paper, cool. If you want to digitize it, cool. But it needs to be every single step you and or the visitor or client will take throughout your process to make sure that you are creating that SMART system. Seamless, manageable, automated, reliable, and timely, okay? So then you can break that up into even to 3 or 4 phases. Let's say you have your inquiry phase, then you have your construction phase, then your design phase, and then your reveal phase. You know, once you have all that broken up, you can finally say, hey, client, I take my clients through a 3 to 4 phase process, and it gets them these results. For instance, like I told you with my streamline and design experience, I take my clients through my one-on-one clients through 3 phases: branding, systems, website. And each one delivers on a certain promise, and each one delivers on a certain experience that they're looking to have to solve specific problems. Okay, so that's your P. Also with your website, your layout. The layout is important. What's the first thing people are seeing? You know, how far down they have to scroll to be able to finally book with you or complete that action, that primary goal that we talked about. They easily see the vibe of really like what you do. Where are you putting your power positioning statement that we talked about earlier? Can they know off the gate in 3 seconds of looking at your website, this is what you do, this is who you do it for, and this is why it should matter. Cool, I'm ready to move forward, right? How are you able to do that? And here's an example of a layout. You can start with the header. That's typically your power positioning statement. Problems, about, solution, process. Your solution is your service. Remember, your about is about you, but it's more about how you have done what you've done to deliver and work with the clients you're working with. Your process, your results. Results can be testimonials. It can be that part B, right? That deep desire where you're really telling people that, you know, hey, this is the results you get from me. These are the results my clients have gotten. This is why you need to work with me and why I'm the best solution. Okay. And lastly, a way for them to take action at the end. So the extras in your business, it is important to identify the various touch points. So sometimes some websites may have additional information. So what are some examples? If you're a blogger or a vlogger, some websites need that. Sometimes you might sell somebody on that register said they are trying to sell more digital, more products, incorporate products into their service-based business. So what does that look like? Do you have a store built into your website that's easy to navigate? And does it like look, okay, so or do you do services and you sell products, or do you sell products on the side? Like it needs to be a very clear, cohesive, and consistent message that you're delivering to make sure that people get it and they're not confused. If you confuse them, you lose them. If you've never heard that before, there you go. If you confuse them, you lose them. Maybe you have, some people have menus, events. If you have of course, for y'all, a gallery or portfolio really is important. If you have some type of connection to an event or a nonprofit where you may take donations through your site, do you have videos and photos, or do you need both? Again, what does it say to your brand? Your scheduling abilities, are people making reservations for maybe events that you host as an interior designer? Email marketing connection, all that type of stuff. Let's see, designers can incorporate the cost of photography or percentage of photography costs within their design costs rather than a flat fee or hourly rate. Thank you for that, Christopher. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've worked with clients, even I've had times to where the actual investment cost that you tell the client, it incorporates that cost of photography. So it's not like an itemized item that the client sees, rather than it being a flat fee or hourly rate. Absolutely. Absolutely. So have those conversations with your brand photographer so it's not eating into your profit, but also so you can make sure that you're accounting for that cost of what is to include that within, we are doing the reveals for your clients. Okay. So the takeaway for the website component, your website should tell a story and give curb appeal. We talk about the open house. Your website is your curb appeal. That's like the first introduction. Sometimes it's social, but if not, you don't have a website, that is the next place people are going to learn more about you. What is it that you do? How does it look? How do you portray yourself as a business? And then you need a message in order to properly market. And remember, that message has to come from the brand strategy. Okay. So the last thing I have for you guys in this last 15 minutes is I wanted to share everything we've talked about today. You clearly see that it is with branding, systems, website. Okay. All three of those components are essential for you to be able to really build that strong business house and brand house. Okay. So with that being said, I wanted to, because I really love y'all. I love this network. I love what y'all have done. I've been talking with the president, the vice president for several months, and just y'all's mission and really what y'all are about, and really educating and empowering and supporting each other within this Black Interior Design Network is absolutely phenomenal within y'all's industry. So one thing I did wanted to extend an offer to you guys. This is the absolute y'all the very first people to know about this. I've not mentioned it publicly yet. Y'all the very first. I want to give y'all first opportunities. So I will be holding an accelerator. It's a 14-day accelerator. It's going to be called the Legit Biz. As many of you guys have come to this masterclass and wanting to really show up more as a professional and legit business through your system, branding, through your systems, through your website. The workbook that I just gave y'all, that is a eensy bitty taste of what's coming in this accelerator. And I do it because I'm hearing a lot of people talk, especially as we're entering a new year, how to start off as a professional and legit business. And I did it in just 14 days. So it's going to be an accelerator. We're going through it, but the content is going to be the value of the recordings, the coaching, you get the guidance and support. And it's going to be a very, very intimate group. So it's on the premises of turning your one-woman show into a professional and legit business. If you are a male and you feel, the one woman, I predominantly work with women businesses. That's typically who the connection gravitates with. But if this messaging applies to you and you're saying, hey, I may not be a woman, but listen, I still need this information, is definitely still open and you're able to still receive all the value that's there for you to grow your business. Okay. So it's the beta of my, like I said, Legit Biz Accelerator, and it's testing out my new 6-figure system strategy. This strategy that I'm delivering this accelerator has landed me well over 6 figures. It was me working with clients, and it's really getting one-on-one. It's in a group setting, but getting that dedicated guidance and support to walk you through what to do and how to do it, and getting your systems and your branding set up and that foundation so strong. So what that looks like is, first we go over your strategy. You got a little taste today. I couldn't fit everything in the 2 hours. So you got a little taste today, but what it's definitely going to allow you to do is, on our first couple of days, is clarify, dive deep into what you bring to your business entrepreneur. And we go deep into that ideal client and know exactly what to say and how to say. Maybe you have questions about, well, how do I talk to people? Or what if I don't have any clients? We're going deep strategies and templates on how to actually implement strategies to make that happen for your business. Also, day 4 through day 7, we're going to connect. Okay. Learn how to communicate with confidence and clarity in your business to get people interested and excited. You can talk all day. I do this, I do this, I do this, I like this is who I work with. But if people aren't excited and you can't truly connect with them in a way and position yourself so them know what you do, who you do it for, and why you should care, then that disconnect is not going to allow you to move forward. That's going to keep dropping the ball in between. Then we'll also set the framework for your signature experience. And that's where we're going to segue into your systems, which is the last week. It's only 2 weeks. So for day 8 through day 10, we're going to create. So we're going to build out your signature experience to ensure that you're meeting your ideal clients' wants and needs. That client transformation matrix, that's just a taste. It's a whole nother elevated strategy, but I'm going to guide you through step by step to even build upon that, to get better messaging and even stronger messaging. So it is legit no-brainer material on why people should work with you. Okay. A lot of people have said in here about how to structure their systems, price their services, how to package their services, how to name their services, their tech. Just in the chat today, many people have said like the tech and the tools and what platform should I use for this. I go over all that, even give you the exact tools that I use and I've seen used, even for my interior design clients I've had and have. Those are the ones that I'm seeing that are working, and how to set them up, how to automate it, the exact tools and guidance you need to walk through that. And then lastly, on the last couple of days, it's about communicate. So you'll create a collection of offerings so we talk about your signature service, but also what collection of offerings, what suite can you offer to your clients, and how to communicate that with ease. How can you say this is what I do? But hey, if that doesn't work for either your budget, your time frame, I have something else that still meets you where you are and still delivers the value you need, client, to get you from point A to point B. Okay. I talk about how to easily price your services for profit. I have template calculators. It's a whole bunch of resources ready to go for y'all to really proudly share and communicate about your business. Like I said, it's 14 days and it's a live group coaching experience. So it's going to be inside of a portal. I will be going live with you guys. So y'all see my energy already. It's going to be so much fun. So really being able to engage with y'all asking questions live. I'm giving you the absolute dedicated time to make sure you have that experience and ready to go. And the biggest thing about group coaching is y'all get to learn from each other. Just like how Christopher put this advice in the chat, there are certain resources that y'all might not know within the industry that y'all can share with each other. And me being able to, like I said, be that guide and support to get more of a well-rounded business and how to apply those effectively for y'all. Top tier energy. Thank you, Kia. So let me know. So I'm sorry, not let me know. Kia threw me off with that one. Yes. So live group coaching experience. So what does that entail? Branding and system strategies, like we said, went over today with step-by-step systems. So this is, again, exclusively for service-based solopreneurs. Like I said, if you have a team, a small team, that you're still having these same struggles on what do I say, how do I get going? You see the branding and system stuff that we've touched on today. This could be for you. And if you want to have a conversation about it, I'm more than happy to see if it's the best fit. So you're wondering, so you do these trainings without wondering how you're going to do it all by yourself. I've been doing it by myself for years, and I've come up with strategies that it will really release the overwhelm and the confusion. Plug and play calculators, templates, and marketing assets so you can effortlessly create a strong experience and automate it for your client. We're wearing all these hats, right? We the thinker, then we got to design it, then we got to go here, then we got to talk to these people, then we got to deliver. It's a lot. It's a lot to do, but how can we make it to where it's efficient and we enjoy it? I'm sure we're not getting in business for ourselves to hate it. If you got in business for yourself to hate it, raise your hand in the chat. I'm gonna take like 30 seconds. So I'm gonna see if there's a hand raised. If you did it, if not, most people will say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and go work for a 9 to 5. If there's gonna be all of that. So you want to enjoy what you do, but how can we eliminate some of those hats that natively come with entrepreneurship? And then you also get the proven brand plan and systems map. Y'all gotten a taste of that today, but you will get an actual brand plan and map for you to follow along and have at your disposal. And it's personalized to your business, right? You want to connect with the right people in the right way for your signature experience. So the last part of this is I'm also including these bonuses for y'all because I tell y'all, I'm truly dedicated and on a mission to really make sure that, especially going into this year and in this season, that y'all, all service-based solopreneurs, have the ability and the access to be able to really, really come up as a professional and legit business and have the confidence to do so. So the first bonus is I'm doing a personalized business audit for the people who register. And then I get to review your entire business, and I'm going to give you a custom action plan so you can make the most of your experience over the next 14 days. Another bonus that's included is I'm going to give you an actual website template. That was a big question for some people. Like, I don't even have a website. I want to give you an actual template that you can use and plug and chug, because over the 14 days, we'll be developing your content. So you have the website template you can use and actually lead the 14 days with an online presence or an elevated or refreshed one. And you also get the simple site roadmap. That roadmap we went over today was just the overview. It was just the overview. I gave you the bullets of each letter, but it's a way for you to make your clients ready to connect with you after we finish. And this is like a snapshot of some of the pages of that roadmap. And lastly, I have another masterclass I have done called Consultation Calls That Convert. This was a game changer for a lot of my clients. And I have some testimonials on the slide I'm going to show you, the link to show you that really show after this, people landed some clients. They had landed some very high paying clients, mainly because it's just a strategy of how you can have control, clarity, and confidence on your call that showcase your value and secure. So I have calculators, I have guides, I got spreadsheet templates, I have a question bank, we got some templates. All of this is all included with the Legit Biz Accelerator as just straight up bonuses I wanted to give y'all. So the first cohort is going to start January 30th through February 11th. Again, it's just 2 weeks, and that's 2 weeks from now is when it's going to start. And this is the beta pricing. This is the first time I've ever, my first time offering this, and it's going to be the beginning, okay? So really want you to come in and lock in the beta pricing because it will be going up for this accelerator afterwards. So it's a one-time payment of either $447 or 2 installments of $225, okay? And because you guys are BID, and again, I've not promoted this publicly at all. Y'all are the very first people to hear about this. I wanted to make sure you guys have an exclusive interior design bonus call. So if you sign up before Sunday, I will hold a especially interactive bonus session only for interior designers. Okay, so the information that I'll be giving, how can we tailor your custom brand plan, your systems map? How can we tailor that specifically for interior design businesses? And that's how we'll be able to do that in a bonus session. The whole accelerator applies to service-based solopreneurs. But the information you get, you can take it and definitely apply it just as you have today with this masterclass, okay? And the biggest thing is I'm only doing 10 seats, okay? I'm doing it on purpose because I want it to be a very intimate accelerator. I want you to get still the guidance and support from me, even though it's a group setting. So you get your questions in and it's down to go. And Mimi said, let's talk about you. Well, here you go, Miss Mimi. I'm in. Anybody who is in, this is the link. So you can scan this QR code. Again, I'll give this link to Kayla and the members of the BID team, and they'll be able to share this out as well. The link, if you're interested in signing up, go ahead and I said, I only have 10 seats. So if you're interested, put in the chat I'm in. If you already go ahead and signed up, put in the chat I'm in. I'm excited about it, and I'm really ready to help you guys really elevate in this experience because it is needed, and I want y'all to start off 2023 on the best foot possible. If you have any questions at all, I'm stressing at all, DM me on Instagram. I can give you the direct link if you can't do it via the QR code. I will send you the direct link on Instagram. If you shoot me that, this is my Instagram account at The Kreative Core, and Kreative Core has K's, okay? So I'm very excited. I hope y'all are too. I want to thank y'all for your time, and I'm definitely open. I know it's 1 o'clock, but I'm definitely open to stay on a few more minutes. If anybody has one that wants to, I don't know, Kayla on webinar, are they able to come off mute? I'm not sure. If y'all are able to come off mute, definitely. I'm definitely here to answer any questions.
Not on webinar, but you guys are welcome to submit your Q&As through the box at the bottom, or you can type it in chat. That would be great.
Oh, perfect. Yes. So yeah, chat, Q&A. Like I said, I'm able to stay on for a few more minutes. Anybody, any comments y'all want to leave in the feedback, in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing so much knowledge. You are very welcome. Rochelle, very, very welcome. Please send me the link. Absolutely. Actually, let me see if I can pull the link up while we're on the call. Each day, how long is the session? So there's going to be 3 live coaching sessions throughout every week. So week 1, we'll have 2 coaching sessions and you have a support call. And then the second week, you'll have 2 coaching sessions and a support call. Each session, I'm allocating up to 2 hours. A long time. So some will be training. If there's no questions and nobody has anything else, then we can finish early. But I'm making sure that that time is allocated for you guys to really, really take advantage of the opportunity, get the information, get the content, and get the guidance and support that you need throughout this 14-day accelerator. So I'll do 3 live coaching calls each week. And then, yes, you get access to replays as well. So let's say a certain day you maybe can't make a specific time or it doesn't fit your schedule. You definitely have access to the replays and the private portal. So when you scan this QR code and when you get the details, you'll see more information about the all those like nitty-gritty details. You'll see it inside the document, as well as the link for that. Let me see any Q&A questions. Nothing in Q&A. Anything else in the comments, in the chat? You are very welcome. You are very welcome. Thank you for expertise. Oh, of course, y'all are so welcome. Like I said, definitely shoot me a DM after I finish off of the masterclass. I'll definitely send anybody a DM with the link, and like I said, answer any questions. Let me see if I can add it real quick here in the chat. So anybody who wants to directly click on, okay, good. Let me see if I can get that for you real quick. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Here is the chat. Where is the chat? Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, if y'all see the chat, I just added the link there. If you want to click on it there, like I said, or just shoot me, give me on Instagram. So happy this masterclass has been helpful for everyone. Yay, yes, Kills, a great, great masterclass. Thank you for your expertise and time. Y'all are very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. Like I said, I love what I do, and I'm just excited to be here with you guys and just really be able to deliver any type of opportunity, help where I can, to really get your questions answered. So I'm appreciative of anything. Yes. Anybody else have any other comments, questions, concerns? I'll stand for like 2 more minutes. Give you all, I know we started a little late with some technical issues. I'll stand about 2 more minutes. If anybody does have any last comments, questions, concerns. A big question that I was asked was, again, if it is replays. Yes, replays are available in the portal. And I'm just big on community, just making sure that the community is there and y'all are able to truly, truly be able to show up how you guys want to and how y'all need to in your business. Anybody else? I'll stay on for 1 more minute. I don't want to hold up anybody's time. Anything. Did you find that your clients get results within 90 days? I have. That depends on how much clients put in the work. That's the caveat to that. I have all the tools and the strategies, but it's up to the client to put in the work and actually do the work. That's a common thing you'll find as well. And I'm sure as an interior designer too, if I plan on working, yes, Mimi, the way you showed up, yes, ma'am. I definitely think you will. So yes, putting in the work. And it also depends on what kind of results you're trying to see, right? That's a question you'll see when you when you sign up and we get started. You do a lot of the kind of onboarding stuff. Some of the questions you'll hear me say are, what are your goals? You know, results are different from different people. So it depends on what your goals are, where you currently are, just like I tell y'all do with y'all clients. What is your point A? What is your point B? Where are you now? Where are you trying to go? And that dictates what that process looks like. And then we create a plan for you to do so and being able to put in the work and craft that around that. So let me know if that answers your question, Mimi. Anybody else have any comments, questions, concerns? Yes, okay, perfect. Excited. Y'all, this is about to be so good, a good 2-week accelerator, and I'm excited. So I don't see any more questions coming through. Like I said, I want to respect everybody's time. The replay, as Kayla had mentioned, will be up and sent to everybody. If y'all can go back through, use the workbook, be able to have this information, and really take strides as you go along in 2023. So again, my Instagram is at the bottom. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to talk with you offline and see where I can possibly be of assistance. So thank everybody so much. Y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to talk to everybody very, very soon. Thank y'all so much, and